Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, we will go over the market, go over Tesla, go over essentially what has happened, what we can expect moving forward, and all of that good stuff. So as usual, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. And as usual, this is not financial advice. Make your own decisions, do your own research, all of that good stuff. But moving into a Tesla looking like it is going to be closing at about 4% for the day, somewhere around there, which is putting it just barely shy of $160. Compared to the market, SPY up 2%, QQQ up 2.75%, we'll just say on average, right? Pretty damn good day for the market overall. Meta or Facebook up 14%. So Tesla essentially just a passenger today along for the ride, which is very, very welcomed, of course, after the massive fall that Tesla has had recently, which was about 25% ever since this green candle up here at 207. So pretty massive fall for Tesla. So let's go over what is happening and what it means, right? So we talked about just yesterday, even essentially early this week, we discussed how, it is definitely like, even though Tesla still looks bearish, ultimately it's still absolutely bearish. There's no question about it. However, short term, we talked about how even if there's potential, a little bit more room to the downside, we said how maybe 150 and worst case 145 before we get the final bounce. There wasn't much more room to the downside, right? Remember how we talked about over here how there wasn't much more room to the upside and the downside was much more obvious. Essentially, flip the situation here, right? There was technically more possibility for downside, but there was so little more room for the downside before at least some bounce that it wasn't even worth being a quote unquote bear or short at that point yet, even though I do believe that there is later down the road more downside still ahead. But with that being said, we talked about how a bounce definitely was very, very soon, in this case clearly around the corner. Today was that day. So as the market is rallying today, the VIX is of course absolutely plummeting. We talked about how it was finding a massive resistance all the way up in the 20s and how most likely it will fall back down to somewhere around here, a little bit lower than I expected. I did expect it to hold a little bit higher than this, but nonetheless. And SPY is essentially doing what we discussed, pretty much picture perfect. You can see here to the point where I kind of want to enter shorts on SPY, maybe even tomorrow, we'll see. But it is essentially doing exactly what we talked about, which was pretty much following this line that we drew like 2 days ago or 3 days ago. How it is going to most likely come up for a retest, which is going to be somewhere around this level. Actually, it could potentially go a little bit higher, maybe even closer to like 413 to maybe 15 best case, but I can't imagine it going much higher than that, right? And that's essentially what we're witnessing right now, right? The market is essentially having a potential dead cat bounce, a little bit of a retest bounce for SPY, and that's essentially bringing Tesla up with it. So that's something very crucial to understand. And I do believe the VIX is at a point where it might actually find a bit of a bounce room potential here. So we'll see, of course, a lot of unknowns in the market right now, but again, the market essentially doing what we discussed that it should do a few days ago, and that's good to see. So I am going to be most likely be looking to enter shorts on SPY, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. I'm not really sure yet, or puts on SPY. Specifically SPY. I don't really do puts on Tesla because I just don't like it, I'll be honest. But with that being said, the RSI in the 1 hour still looks like a beautiful looking, well, not as beautiful as before, but still, arguably definitely a bear or bullish divergence. You can see it's poking its head up, right? Essentially, as this a situation here is going up like this whole situation was going down like this. That right there is a very classic textbook bullish divergence. So, good to see, of course. So that's nice. And I do expect this to be, of course, the actual bounce. Now, the question is, how high does Tesla bounce, right? How long does it take? How high does it bounce? Now, the duration is extremely hard to know for sure. And the main reason for that is because, well, we don't really know. I mean, we literally don't know how long it'll be. So it could be another week, could be even maybe 2 more weeks. Hard to say for sure, but I do expect at least half of May to be a bearish month. So with that being said, I do expect Tesla to most likely enter. Honestly, it wouldn't be surprising if it comes up to potentially even the 170s, right? So this is one level if you count this as a swing high, or if you count this right here as a swing high, then again 167 to 170. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla just barely kind of flirts with the 170-ish level. Personally, that would not shock me whatsoever, but that also means that SPY technically has more room to the upside. I don't think SPY has more room to the upside, or that much more, right? Again, best case scenario, I expect SPY to have maybe like at most another % to the upside, unless it somehow has this as a massive, fake breakdown, which I don't think it is, but it might be. You never know for sure. But SPY doesn't have much more room to the upside, so makes it a little bit more difficult for Tesla to do its thing and move even higher. So that's the part that's confusing. So if that's the case, and if we are bouncing off of this and there's not that much more room to the upside, Tesla most likely will go up maybe to like 167, which isn't that much higher from here, right? So potentially another like 4%, which isn't bad actually. That's a decent move. But if it does go there, I might exit some of my cash secured puts. We'll see, of course. I'm not entirely sure yet. But I don't expect this to be an absolutely like crazy bounce. I don't think this will just skyrocket Tesla back to like, 200 or something like that. I do expect this to be essentially a dead cat bounce. I do expect this to essentially just rally us again to maybe flirt with the 170s. And I do expect from there, we most likely will start getting a bearish divergence roughly on the RSI on the 1 hour and then make our way down. And I think we have potentially one more low to go, because at the moment on the daily, there's nothing really signaling to me at least that, let me remove these for now. We kind of get the idea, right? It hasn't broken out, but there's nothing signaling to me that this is an absolute reversal. I mean, these candles right here, I guess you can technically make an argument which would excuse it for a bounce coming up right here to, again, roughly 170s or so. But other than that, I don't think this is an absolute like overall reversal. I don't think this is going to be the low that we're looking for yet. I do believe we will go a little bit lower, potentially again as low as this 140-ish area or 144 gap fill-ish area. What I want to see personally moving forward is if Tesla does rally up like this. So here's an example. Here's what I want to see moving forward. If Tesla, let's say, does rally all the way up here to 170s, the RSI goes up to, let's say, like right here, right? And then Tesla moves down even lower to somewhere around here, let's say. I want to see the RSI come down and have the low set somewhere around here, essentially higher than this. I wanted to set a higher low than this, even though the stock went lower. That's what I personally want to see. And if we do see that, that to me will be pretty bullish. And that to me will be very, reassuring, I guess, is what I want to say here. So that's kind of the overall path that I would like to see. On top of that, we can take a look at the 21 EMA, which is not, too much higher above us, again in the 170s, right? We have the 100-day moving average also in the 170s. We have the 50-day moving average sitting way above us. I doubt we're going to go there at all, so I'm not going to waste my time with that. And of course, we also have the 200-day moving average, which is, I believe, way above us, which is probably not even worth talking about. Where even is it? Oh, I didn't show it. Yeah, which is way above us. It's not even worth talking about. So yeah, so in other words, I do expect the 100-day moving average essentially to be the main resistance point. Wouldn't be surprised if we actually rally back to roughly this area right here, to this 100-day moving average, get a rejection, most likely make our way at the very least down to the same level, if not all the way to the gap fill, and then make a higher low, hopefully on the RSI for a bullish divergence. And from there, probably find a little bit of a base, a little bit of consolidation. And then I think we can finally get probably, maybe a month or maybe two or whatever down the road, a bit of a rally, probably up until like something like September. And September is usually a pretty bearish month. And then from there, most likely find some pain. But again, assuming we hold around this level, we talked about this several times, but to reiterate in case you're new or you forgot or missed it or whatever, right? Because Tesla broke above 200, which was this swing high right here, to me, it has arguably reversed the trend into a more bullish favor overall, even though short term is bearish right here, it's short to medium term, but medium to potentially slightly longer term, I do think the trend reversal has happened. But to really truly confirm that, I really want to see this level right here hold, this 618 level right here, which is around the 146-ish level, which is the gap fill. And if we can come down here, bounce, hold, and not fall below that, just essentially hold this overall area, I do think that this bounce right here will be a pretty glorious one as well and be very bullish as well. So we'll see. However, with that being said, SPY, assuming this is just a simple retest, it does look a little bit bearish. If it doesn't crack back into this little wedge over here, then it's going to most likely fall down pretty aggressively, which will take Tesla down with it. So if Tesla does go up to 170 and then overall rallies back, or I guess rallies downwards back down to the 140, let's say, right? So let's say it comes up to this 170 level and then it does reject and follow SPY to like the depths of hell, let's just say, right? That will be another like almost 15% or so move to the downside from this point of 170 if we do get there. So just keep that in mind. It's a decent move overall, right? So, we'll see where that actually ends up taking us. But that's kind of the main thing I'm personally looking at and I am overall paying attention to. Tomorrow, we of course will look at the weekly chart as the candle does close for the week. So we'll see how that, shapes up to be. But that's kind of the majority and the gist of what I am currently looking at, expecting and seeing as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Overall, definitely looking still more bearish than bullish. Very short term, looking more bullish and bearish, but short to medium term, definitely more bearish. But medium to long term, in my opinion, more bullish. But we need to see the confirmation again, like I said, of this 140 kind of ish, 145-ish level. Very important level for me, guys. So that's going to make it or break it for me. So we'll see if we get there and when we get there, what happens and how we react. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. You can see this is actually getting rejected exactly at the 100-day moving average TSLQ, which is even further reason why I think Tesla most likely will get a bit of a bounce here. Even further. But all that being said, thanks for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.